Please take a second, pause the video, and read this disclaimer. Today we're taking a look at some of my wand mobility movements, and as always, you should only be performing these if you've been cleared by a medical professional to do exercise or stretching. Now, how I perform this is I focus on pulling my shoulder blades down and back together and then letting my chest open. I'm thinking big chest like Superman. I'm really trying to drive my shoulders down and back together and using the wand to help facilitate that. Now, wands are really useful for patterns of movement. They're really useful for warming up muscles, getting them moving, waking them up, and cooling down. So right now, all I'm focusing on doing is waking up those muscles in the back, trying to pull my shoulder blades together and letting a gentle stretch happen in my chest. And the intent of this one is really just to have the head of the humerus sit in the shoulder the way that it's supposed to, by waking up all those accessory muscles. Now this is flexion. Flexion is one where you just take the rod, you take the wand, and you use it to push an arm straight up and overhead as much as you can. A lot of people are restricted in flexion. Again, doing this, what you're doing is you're encouraging a normal pattern of movement. You might find out that you're a little bit restricted. And there's 1,000 reasons why that could be. Most of the time, it's myofascial tightness. Again, if you have any pain or discomfort with any of these, you should be talking to a medical professional. But for flexion, it's just using that wand to push the arm up and overhead. And again, what I'm trying to also do is pull that shoulder blade down and back and towards my spine. And that's going to really facilitate this pattern of movement, wake those muscles up, and prepare me for further exercise. Here it is from the other side, so you can just see how I'm using my right arm to support pushing my left arm up and back. It's just as simple as pushing through the wand, trying to keep that left arm nice and straight, and pushing up nice and straight as I can. My left side is definitely the more restricted one. I don't have any limitations on my right side, so for this video I decided to show what I do for my left shoulder. The next one's called Abduction. The best way I can explain it is like making a snow angel. And all I'm doing is just using that wand to try and push my arm up and overhead, but I'm keeping it in the same plane as if I was laying on my back and making a snow angel. Again, something that gets really restricted in a lot of people. For me, this usually is restricted. Today, I'm looking pretty good. Again, that right arm is pushing through the wand, facilitating that arm to go up and over. Again, any numbness, any tingling, any throbbing, any burning, stop, talk to a medical professional. I'm not even feeling mild discomfort here with this. My shoulder with abduction feels pretty great right now. Flexion, a little bit limited, or limited. Abduction, not so bad. And now we're looking at extension. And I promise I'm going to show you a different angle, but I want to show you what the right arm is doing here to support. And it's staying in that same plane, gently pushing back. My left arm is not really doing that much except letting my right arm push through the wand and push it into extension to get a little bit of a stretch and a wake up there. I'm not really focusing too much on trying to pull my shoulder blades or anything. This is a lot more focused on, okay, let's make sure that my shoulder isn't tight. If I have any tightness, this is going to alert me to it so that way I can go in there and I can stretch it out much more focused, with a much more focused approach later. You might be wondering, hey, what if I can't do this? Well, guess what? Here's an alternate one, way easier. And this allows you to use the other arm to really support that left arm if you're struggling. And so again here, all I'm focusing on is a gentle, mild stretch in the front of my shoulders. Really, I don't really feel anything in the back when I try and pull my shoulder blades together. And honestly, this isn't really designed for that. It's more designed for, okay, let's stretch the front of the shoulder. Let's see if there's any pec tightness I need to go after, any anterior shoulder tightness I need to really go after and stretch before I do something more physically demanding. The wand is just a really useful tool to, again, alert yourself to things that might be going on that you weren't aware of until you tried to do these patterns of movement. External rotation is next, and that is not the best external rotation. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit tight. But the idea is you're using the right arm to push the wand into your left hand, and you're almost trying to swipe the top of a counter off. If you kept your elbow by your side and you used your arm to swipe off the top of a counter like you're swiping crumbs off, that is the motion you should be going for when doing this if you've been cleared by a medical professional. You can see how restricted I am on this left side. Here it is a little bit closer. Yep. And boom. I should be able to go a little bit further than that, but I'm a little bit restricted. And again, the hardest part about doing the wand external rotations is keeping that elbow by your side. A lot of times when you push, your elbow's going to want to flare out. And you can see mine's coming out just a little bit. Let's see how I do here. Oh, that's way better. Okay, I was expecting way less from me. All right, well, there it is. It comes out a little bit. But you really want to keep your elbow kind of tucked to your side. And again, pushing gently through, facilitating a little bit of a stretch, seeing if there's any tightness that you need to go after and do a stretch there. So again, just a really good diagnostic tool to see if there's any tightness you need to go after. And that's going to be especially true for this next one, internal rotation. Oh my goodness. So many people are restricted in internal rotation. I'm looking pretty good today, but all I'm doing is I'm gently pulling with my right arm, pulling the wand up and relaxing my left arm and letting it do a gentle stretch. Now again, this is one of those big ones. Unless you've been cleared by a medical professional, you shouldn't be going and doing external and internal rotation because there is a chance of dislocation or subluxation of the shoulder. You should only be doing this if you've been cleared by a medical professional. And again, I'm using this as a diagnostic tool. Do I need to go and stretch my external rotators, my internal rotators? Is there tightness where I wasn't expecting it? Do I have a mobility restriction where I haven't expected it? And again, this is a really useful warm-up and just tool to let me know where I'm at before I go and do something very physically demanding. Like think any sort of those competitive races with obstacle courses, if you're in the armed forces, any sort of PT test or rucking or something physically demanding. And next are the event that I'm worst at, the halos. This does not look graceful because it is not graceful. I need to get a lot better at these. But the idea of the halo, kind of like the kettlebell halo for the shoulder, is you're just working your shoulder through all of the range of motion that you can. It's a kind of a catch-all, all-in-one exercise mobility drill that's going to really let you know where you're limited quickly and to stretch. Again, no pain and no discomfort with this. I'm feeling a little bit of a stretch as I'm moving through this, and really what it's doing is waking up all of my shoulder muscles, my pecs, my back muscles, and getting me more prepared for something more physically demanding. It's a great warm-up, and it's a great assessment tool to see how your mobility is if you're wanting to assess yourself. And again, you've been cleared by a medical professional. I'm still terrible at it, and I'm working very hard to get better at it, so roast me in the comments section if you want. And the last one we're going to take a look at here is T-spine rotations. And you've probably seen these in a lot of movies. You've probably seen these in old athletic books. They say that the old weightlifters used to do 100 of these once they were done working out. So all these wand exercises and mobility things are really useful for finding mobility deficits and cueing you in on things that you can be stretching. They are also, some of them, really useful at waking up muscles before exercise. I've tried to do my best to lay out which ones are which. And again, these are not really an exercise in and of themselves. They're great as a warm-up and a cool-down, assuming, of course, you've been cleared by a medical professional to do any sort of exercise or stretching. But thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. This has been all of my favorite movements with the wand that I currently know. I'll see you all in the next video.